they clearly got more shots.
Yeah.
With turnovers and just
Offensive rebounds, turnovers. I think we tallied quickly. I think we tallied it up to 38 points off of those two categories. And it just felt like they brought a great deal of effort along with them coming up with those tip outs or 50-50 balls, whatever the case was. And then we missed, I think, by our calculation, around 20 shots around the basket that we normally make. You know, when you see us at 94 points and 23 assists, like that's just not a typical game for us. But they brought it, and from the jump, you felt the physicality, their attempts to go to the basket and get offensive rebounds, I thought put us in mud a little bit because we couldn't come up with the ball and get out and run, and then we just kept giving them extra possessions. We had a few mishaps on Cleaver tonight with the switches, lack of communication or just execution. We'll be better in those categories. All of those categories will be better on Sunday.
It's so rare to see Chris have that many turnovers. Was it something that Dallas did differently?
I'm sure there was, a bit more pressure on the ball or hands in lanes to get deflections, that kind of thing. I didn't feel like we had a rhythm tonight on offense, to be straight with you, at all. You saw flashes of it, but we just didn't have the same kind of offensive connection that we had in Phoenix. And that some of that is to be expected when you're playing against a team and you're up 2 games. You know they're going to come out and hit you in the mouth. But I thought we could have settled down a little bit more on offense, especially when we had the ball jumping around the gym the way that we did from a turnover perspective.
And even late in the game, though, you guys were still winnable.
Yeah.
Game where you feel like they began to click.
We just couldn't put it together. We came out in the second half. I forget what we cut it to, maybe 6 or 7, I forget. And then bam, 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 it was back in the teens, and then we cut it again, and then we give up a 3 or a 50-50 ball for a 3. We just couldn't put it together. Tonight we played in sections, it felt like. And the bottom line is you have to give them credit. They guarded us full court tonight. They put pressure on us. They fought for real estate. Just inbounding the ball was tough for us tonight from the side. And then they mixed up some defenses. They went zone at times, and we didn't handle that well. And we missed a ton of shots around the basket. I mean, Campaign missed a point-blank layup. That's a shot that, that's one of those things that when you don't make that shot and then they come back down and they're in transition, it's a double whammy.
Monty, when you look at the offense compared to the first 2 games, was some of the struggles to you getting the balls to the second side than the shots that usually come?
A little bit, yeah. I thought there were a few times where, 1, we turned it over, and 2, I didn't think we recognized where the open man was. In game 2, we had a number of first pass out, 0.5 drive, and it created offense. We didn't see that enough tonight. But the backside guy was wide open a few times, and we just didn't see it. So we'll look at the film and show the guys, and like I said, we'll be better on Sunday.
In the second half, did you feel like the offense was starting to figure it out a bit?
A little bit. It was just in sections. It just wasn't like a long enough rhythm offensively to, gain juice. I felt like we were playing off the rim instead of them having to take the ball out. And then you couple that with the fact that we only had 15 free throws. It's hard to play that way. When you're not making shots and you're not getting to the line, it's hard to set your defense.
Did you feel like...
I felt a lot of things tonight, so it's...
that you guys had that edge to come out, that maybe it was just the missed shots and other things that made you look like that?
Sometimes that can happen. I mean, when you miss the shots, especially layups, Mikal missed shots around the basket. He never misses. We had a number of guys tonight. DA had a few around the basket that he typically converts. It can be a bit of a deflation, but on the road you don't have time. You have to sprint and turn and set your defense no matter what happens. And emotionally, it could have had an effect on us. I can't really answer that, but that is possible.
I know this is easier said than done. Was playing through and past the whistles an issue at all tonight?
I mean, we had 2 techs early, I think. I know Mikhail had one, which is uncharacteristic for him, and I forget who, we had another one, I forget who had it, but yeah, so maybe. But it's chippiness both ways, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not quite sure how, I'm not going there. You know, it's one of those deals where it's a physical, chippy game, you know, so maybe that has something to do with it.
Monty, when you see Chris at 9 shot attempts and Book at 13, is that just a matter of what Dallas is trying to do defensively? Do you think they weren't aggressive enough? Is there anything you attribute
It's just
to that?
turnovers. I mean, you give them 17. You know, our team, and those 2 typically, they never have those high turnover games like that. So we'd love for those guys to get more attempts, especially with the minute total that they had. It's something else I have to, look at the film and see. But I think the times where we did get it out, and Jay and Mikhail were attacking the paint off of that, it was good offense for us. But I mean, they had a number. They had 14 more possessions than us. I mean, when you only have 76 attempts, that's normal NBA teams are around 95, right? So we were in the deficit in that category.
Devin, did they do anything defensively that led to the turnovers, or was it mostly more of what you guys were in lack of execution on offense?
Yeah, it wasn't like us. I mean, you can credit them. They came out and, played hard, played desperate. But that's that. We got a series.
Curious how you feel in terms of the rhythm. The rhythm just didn't seem to be there the way it usually is. You sense that early, or did it get to a certain point in the game with you guys?
I mean, just understanding the situation, understanding that, we've been in series before. We were up 2-0, coming to their home floor. And, the people want to see more basketball games, so we're going to play some more basketball games.
Was there a lid on the hoop, man? It just seemed like you guys were missing shots that you normally
Yeah, we missed some shots. But I like a lot that we get. Like you said, offensive rebounding for them and our turnovers, I think, were majority of the points that we need to emphasize and work on.
But what they do schematically that contributed to those turnovers?
What are you talking about?
What did Dallas do schematically that contributed to those turnovers, if anything, or was it self-inflicted?
Self-inflicted, a lot of it. I had 5 turnovers. CP had 7, and that's the majority of them. And we don't do that often. So it's definitely something that we'll emphasize and look into for next game.
Book, you're never one to force it, but also 13 shot attempts for you in a game like this. Is there anything you attribute that to specifically?
Just different coverages. I mean, I don't go out there with a certain number of shots I'm trying to reach. I've played in the flow. I trust our team and our teammates, and if there's 2 on the ball, we get off it and we keep playing.
Jay, maybe speak to, despite the turnovers, despite the offensive rebound, there were stretches where you guys got within 6, got within 8, and could easily flip the game. What do you feel like maybe was happening or didn't happen during those moments?
Honestly, I just felt like they just wanted it a little tad bit more than us tonight. They played harder, they played more aggressive, which is, I don't want to say that was what we expected, but at the same time, they got proud. They're at home fighting for their season. So they played harder than us tonight, and they came out with a win.
Curious when you hit shots the way you were, how much of that was just saying, we need this because we're not getting what we usually get offensively?
I don't think about it like that. I just think about playing the floor of the game. Whatever the defense gives you, you got to go with it. I don't, like Book said, you can't go in and thinking I'm going to get X amount of shots. You don't know. What defense scheme and stuff like that. Jae Kidd doing a good job of scheming with their defensive scheme. So just whatever the game reads, whatever the game folds, you just got to play it as is.
Jay, Monty said last series that the 50-50 balls were a big part of whichever team was winning. Did you feel like that was the part of the game that got away from you guys?
No doubt. I think we lost that game tonight. That's part of those guys wanting it more. They played more desperate. They played harder. That's what it comes down to.
So you guys got it to 7 at the half, even though it wasn't your best performance, and then they were able to push it back to start the third. Do you think that was a desperation thing, or what do you think was allowed them
I mean, they went on the run right there. We just tried to stay afloat a little bit going into the halftime. I felt like we had cut it down. We felt good about it. We had a couple possessions where they got a couple second chance points. I think ball hit me in the face, come off Luka and one. They're late. I just want to take those plays back, but at the same time, that's a part of the game. Just 50-50 balls, lost us the lead, got us in a hole, but we felt good about being down 7 going into the half.
Chris, first, happy birthday.
Appreciate it.
I'm sure you wanted it to end better than it did tonight. Just what you feel like for you, 7 turnovers. I'm trying to remember the last time that's even happened. So what was the
Felt like all 7 of them was back to back to back too. You know what I mean? A couple more back to backs right there too. It was. I mean, if I don't turn the ball over like that, I feel like it's a different game. So, give them a lot of credit. They came out, did what they supposed to do, and we'll be back on Sunday.
Sure, as you know, I know sometimes you say, I got to watch the film, so I don't want to get into that specific game-by-game stuff, but just mentality-wise, was Dallas in a different place as far as the way they came in?
They were aggressive, trapping the screens. They was rotating. It was an interesting game. You know, we were sort of up and down. We never really adjusted to the calls either. You know what I mean? That's not why we lost, but we never really adjusted to it. And, you know, they took care of home, what they're supposed to do.
Chris, I like Dwayne's happy birthday. With the playing off your back foot when you turn over like that, self-inflicted and that kind of way, can you describe how hard it is to play like that?
It's tough. It's tough because you're putting them out in transition. You know, and when a team like that, you start letting other guys get going. You know, you see Jalen had a big game, 28. You know what I mean? And so I think if we take care of the ball, we get more shots at the basket. You know, that's on me. We didn't get but 76 shots, and they got 90. That's a huge difference. So be better on Sunday.
What happened on the technical, man? Also, happy birthday.
On the tech?
Yeah.
Trying to get me fined, man. Nothing. I was clapping. You know what I mean? Didn't even go at his face. He caught a tech on me too in New Orleans, cause you know how it's long timeouts and you walk on the other side of the court. It was like a minute and a half left in the timeout, and he caught a tech because I walked on the other side of the court. Yeah, it's usually a delay again. I don't know what that is, but.
Just looking at, even though you guys, got down big, but you're like within like 6, within like 8, and then you're within like 8 maybe with the last minute or so in bulk. Is that huge?
Yeah, every time we almost had a steal on that play too. You know what I mean? They made timely shots. You know what I mean? They were aggressive. You know, they at home. You know, it's big momentum plays. You know, we got to be better. As a team, as us, we knew it was going to be, loud, exciting, and all that. One of the big plays is that play we felt like it went out of bounds on them. Ref get a ball to them quick, hit a 3. That's them plays that, especially at home in a big game like that, that can't happen. So that's on me, and we'll be better.
Because you were able to cut it back down in the fourth, as Dwayne mentioned, but it was 7 at the half, and then they came out in the third to push it right back up.
Yeah.
What about that sequence? You felt like didn't go your guys' way?
I gotta go back and look at it. It'd be so much happening during the game. I don't know. Like I said, the other guys got going tonight. You know, Finney Smith, Reggie hit some shots, and Jalen. So usually going into the fourth quarter, if we keep it a little close, we can manage it or whatnot. But tonight, they responded every time we tried to make something happen.